What Lee doesn't know is I am extremely competitive. The challenge is quite simple, really. The goal is the best plant transformation. There are 5 participants, which are all lovely plant YouTubers, and there are only 2 rules to this challenge. The plant has to be under $10 or euros, and we have 5 months of time to grow it. Now, since these are all lovely plant parents and they are all experienced and know what they do, I expect them to grow healthy, beautiful plants. But how can we, as Leafy Luster, and yes, I'm dragging you into it, stand out and present our plant in a way that we win? We need a bomb idea. I have a few. My first instinct was a little miniature world, Jack and the Bean style maybe, with a climbing plant and then some little windows in the wood and maybe some LEDs or something, which could be cool. Then I was thinking about my signature Monstera Adansonii on the branch I collected from the woods. A hanging arrangement where you just have a really realistic depiction of a rainforest biotope. Lastly, I had the idea to get a rock and then mount a plant on top of it. Which idea is the best though? And not only that, we also need the fitting plant for the project, which might be the most difficult part because it has to be under $10. It has to be a fast grower, a pretty plant, and you know, this might be a little difficult. Let's go plant shopping. Let's see what we can find. That one is too big. This one is a maybe. Too expensive? Definitely no. And then I found the perfect plant. Lastly, a quick stop at the aquarium section for some fishies and inspiration. This is my plant for the challenge. I stuck with the good old Monstera Adansonii. And listen, I got this whole bush for 9 euros, which is kind of a steal, but since this plant was in the clearance aisle, I am 100% sure that there are all the possible pests on there. It is quite beat up. It has yellow leaves, brown leaves, ripped leaves, misshapen new growth. Let's do a thorough before picture. There could be pests in the soil, and I just want to make sure I give the plant the best chance at getting healthy again. There is a little tie in there. Why would you do that? Fortunately, I have some freshly mixed soil. I'm adding in a little bit more Dino-Micro and also some worm castings, because I know that Adansonii are quite hungry plants. Put it in nicely. It's not looking amazing now, but I don't know exactly how I want to present it later on. So for now, I want to focus on nursing it back to health, clearing it of pests, and then we can worry about the presentation later. So let's head to the shower. I've got my trusty plant prop box plastic container. Most pests don't like humid environments. It fits like a glove, what can I say? It's actually perfect. It's the perfect size. I will secure this plant in here to separate it from my existing houseplant collection so the pests can spread around, and also I want to give it some added humidity because I think it will enjoy that quite a lot. Off you go. This officially concludes day 1 of the plant challenge. It's a week later and I searched the internet for some more inspiration and I found these pictures and I think this is what I want to go for. So I want the Monstera Adansonii to grow up basically a giant tree and just make it look as realistic as possible, just like you would find it in nature basically. My first stop will be the woods and I also want to look for some driftwood. Maybe I can find something fitting for free. That would be ideal. Let's go. I found one piece of driftwood that would work for the OG kind of style. I also went ahead and got the bark that looks like a tree trunk, some additional poles, some soil and a pot. And the total of it all is 67.55 euros. Luckily, accessories do not count into the challenge money, which is good. Let me show you what I'm thinking of doing. Idea number 1, this. Plants could grow up this part and then also up here. I would stay true to myself and my profile picture, but it's not new. I'm gravitating towards the second idea and I need to zoom you out for this. Would look somewhat like this. Now seeing this, I really think I want to go for it. Also, I already bought this thing, so might as well use it. Lastly, I got this elbow planter, which is not as tall as other pots. You can detach the saucer if you like. For stability reasons, I will have to do a little bit of DIY on the tree. Let's start sawing. First step, straighten the bottom. Now, what is straight actually? That stuff is off, so let's see if it stands up straight. Like, is this a 90-degree angle or not? First try. I never doubted myself. The idea now is to pop on the pot and then screw in from the bottom. Oh my god, I'm the smartest person ever. Here we have like a little overhang, so if I position it in the middle of the pot, it will just rest on the edge of the pot back here. Okay, that's a wrap. The pot and the trunk are now connected and it even stands just on its own and there's not even soil in there. So I'm quite confident that this will be sturdy enough to exist. Doesn't even look like a tree necessarily, it's almost like a giant rock. Next step, we need to check out the plant. It has been a week. I did air out the box from time to time and I see a lot of new growth on here that unfurled and it looks really healthy, which I'm relieved. Now my goal is to fill out the entire stem up to the top. If I really want to make it in 5 months, minus the 2 weeks already, I have to get started today. This is everything that I've cut off. Leaves that just were looking damaged, sickly, yellow and brown as well. This is all that I've got left. These are mostly healthy leaves. And I know this is not ideal to repot a plant twice in such a short time. This one, I think, is a really great specimen. It's getting a new leaf and it looks mostly healthy. It already looks so good. I think this is going to be bomb. This is probably my best attempt at winning because, I mean, it looks fucking cool, right? This is amazing. Woo! Just reusing the same soil that they were in before. I want to fix it to the bark with some rope just so the plant already knows where it's supposed to grow. This wasn't that easy. All done. This is it. Wah! I'm a freaking genius. This looks so good already and I can only imagine how it will look when they start climbing upwards. My heart is racing. I will do my best to really keep on top spraying the bark, and I will try to keep it like moist a little bit. I really hope it's going to work. Since the soil was still a little bit moist, I will just water very lightly. Okay, for now I want to put it right here next to the planter because it will get a lot of light from the Spider Pharma grow light. It will just live here for now. Oh my god, I'm so relieved. I don't know, it was kind of stressing me out, but now I'm very much excited and relieved and happy, and I can't wait for it to start growing up the cork trunk. I'll see you then. I can't believe it. It's already April 2nd today. So I think it's time for the first update on our plant challenge project. Like, I'm so afraid I'm going to drop this one day. I'm still a little bit worried there is spider mites on the leaves. Some of the new leaves that unfurled are like all wrinkly and have little spots. So I am treating it regularly with the pesticide still. I'm a little bit worried we are not going to make it up to the top in time if it goes this slow. But then again, it's going to be summer, so I'm really hopeful it will pick up a little bit of speed. With that said, I think it would be extremely nice to see what the other guys are doing. Let's start, shall we? First up, we have Kill This Plant. So Lee, he has organized this whole plant challenge. Thank you again for this great idea. He has a Monstera Deliciosa, and from what it looks like, it's doing pretty well. It already got a new leaf. Then we have a Pothos, struggling a little bit, from a Bushy Lady. Then we have Plants and Things. Here we have a Alocasia Silver Dragon, Silver Scale, something like that. Great comeback. Next would be Plants in Jars. We have another Alocasia here, super healthy as well. I mean, great greenhouse as well. We have my sad little Monstera Adansonii. Lastly, we have Scott grows an avocado tree with a beautiful Gloriosa. These were all of the contestants. I think they have some really strong and beautiful plants in there. I really have to stay on top of my game to win this challenge if I really want to do this. It is officially April 30th, so it's time for the next update, and let me show you. This is my Adansonii now. I see constant improvements, so I'm pleased with that. I see new leaves popping out everywhere. It's starting to slowly climb up the pole, so this is all positive and great, but I'm still very concerned. If you look closely, you can still see slight warped leaves, some yellow edges, and I did spot a few spider mites still, so I think I haven't really gotten rid of all of them. Even though I've been spraying it like crazy, believe me, I did, but they seem to be really resilient to my pesticides. So now we are 2 months in already, and I have 3 months of growth left. And to be honest, I'm not as confident as I was in the beginning that this plant can really do it. And the negatives don't stop there. I also noticed that none of the roots have attached to the bark yet. I don't know why, because I'm really spraying it almost every day. I'm trying to keep the environment moist. Nothing. That's why I came up with this idea. Instead of the string I used to tie everything together, I want to use some saran wrap. My hope is by tying this around the stems, it will create a little microclimate for the roots, and it will promote some more root growth and also attachment to the bark. I got 2 straps. That is the most difficult thing I had to do ever. You know what I was wondering? Why is it so important to me that I win this challenge? Are we not all doing it just for fun? I mean, yes, it's also just fun doing challenges. And I think it's just like a self-confidence validation kind of thing. I just want to be seen as skillful and knowledgeable, and I feel like winning this challenge would kind of establish me as a good plant person or something. I don't know. It's so hard. Ta-da! This is the back, and then you see it goes to the front, and I try to like really wrap it closely to the bark to create a little humidity trap. That was step number 1 on my glorious plan to success. Step number 2, I really wanna get rid of those fucking spider mites. What has worked really well for me is just enclosing all of the plant in a plastic container or, for example, a trash bag. And this would also double as a root growth booster. So I'll see if this is even big enough or if I have to get some more bags. Actually, this might be just about perfect. Almost. Securing this. Wrapping this. This looks like it's not going to work. I'm still going to try. I cannot seal this. It has holes all around. This thing is unsealable. I was really convinced this would work like better, but I feel stupid now. With that said, take it away, future Christina. It is end of May and it is time to unveil our plant again. This is it. You can see it's already starting to grow out of the top. I had to open it up a little bit, so I think I just want to remove it and see if it helped anything and also check on the roots. What do we think? It looks really good actually. The saran wrap was an absolute success. I will definitely continue that growing upwards. And now we pray again. See you in a month. And then the time was up. It is the final day and it's time to make the finishing touches to make this thing behind me look presentable. Guys, I think I'm done. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a straight 10 out of 10 in terms of presentation. I'm really proud of that. But now it's up for the judges to decide, so I present to you my candidate for the 2023 Plant Challenge, Miss Monstera Adansonii. Good morning, or hi, I don't know. I woke up 10 minutes ago. I'm still a little sleepy.
I got my Monstera actually from IKEA, like a day after a huge snowstorm. I named it Phil the Monster.
I made a day of it. We went to several different garden centers. I picked up a little marble pothos.
My plant was a alocasia silver dragon. I just wanted to find the saddest plant I could find that I felt was still salvageable.
I was growing an Alocasia cuprea, and it just keeps putting out leaves that are exactly the same size as the last leaf. I'm like, please grow a bigger leaf. It's for a YouTube video.
I'm the only one in this challenge in the Southern Hemisphere, so I bought mine in the start of autumn, and I knew I'd be growing it through winter. I decided to take a risk. I'm going to put it in a bigger pot than I should be putting it in, just with really well draining soil, so lots of perlite, and it's done really well.
Who was the judge, Lee?
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, I clicked.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm fangirling.
Hey guys! I'm Harley from the YouTube channel Harley G. Right off the bat, this Monstera Deliciosa is to me. Clearly it was well taken care of, but outside of the growth itself, I really like the piece of wood that was used as a stake. To me, cool stakes like this like really set a plant apart. I just think swapping out that plastic saucer for something maybe a little bit nicer, like a thrifted crystal dish or something a bit cleaner looking, would have really been the cherry on top for this plant, but overall it is really, really beautiful. This pothos. What do I say? It looks like in the before photo, this plant was super immature and was maybe a pretty fresh propagation to begin with. Those can be really hard to grow. A+ for not giving up. They kept this plant in quite a big nursery pot with this moss pole. So you know what? That tells me that they have hope that this plant is going to one day take over this moss pole, and I respect that. I've been trying to figure out how many leaves this Philodendron gloriosum has pushed out in the 5-month span, and impressively, they've like tripled in size from the original photo. Clearly, they've been taking very excellent care of this plant and have put a lot of time and effort and energy into it. I'm pretty impressed by this one. I've got so much to say about this Alocasia Silver Dragon. It looks like this plant was purchased on clearance from a big box store. Clearly this plant is a lot better off now. Outside of that, I really love how this one is displayed. Really wonderful job here. Another bold choice using an Alocasia cuprea. In the background, it does look like this person has a really amazing greenhouse setup. The coloration of the plant looks a lot better than the beginning photo, if you ask me, and that tells me that the plant is really happy and thriving in the environment it's in. As far as display goes, wish the plant was in like a cooler planter with a cooler display setup. Monstera Adansonii wide form. Wow. In the beginning photo, this does look like already a pretty established plant. I'm so impressed with this person's choice of cork bark and how the Monstera Adansonii has started to grow up it in just the 5 months. And where this plant wasn't as immature as a lot of the other participants, I do still find it quite impressive that they were able to make a plant climb up a situation like this. The plant looks so healthy, so crisp, so happy, so hydrated. And I also love that the plant isn't just in a terracotta planter. I think this whole thing looks awesome.
Oh, wow.
I wish you had told us who was going to be judging Harley G. I would have just dropped out. I don't need to be, she doesn't need to see my dead pathos. I really appreciate the thought that Harley put into the judging. There was a lot of, like Laura said, a lot of things that she like pointed out that I wouldn't have considered if I was judging.
Now getting into placings, I gotta say this was a really hard decision because there are a lot of factors to take in. Third place has to go to Monstera Deliciosa. Second place belongs to Philodendron gloriosum for the overall really awesome presentation as well as quite impressive plant growth. And first place goes to Monstera Adansonii. I think what really sets these 3 plants in particular apart is the fact that a lot of thought was clearly put into the display methods, and I'm a little bit jealous of how fun this seemed. So this is me formally inviting myself to participate in round 2. Please. Thank you so much for thinking to include me. See you in round 2, I guess. Bye!
Congratulations, Christina.
Yeah, congrats.
Well deserved.
Yours was beautiful.
Thank you.
Very jealous.
I went all in.
It. Like, that was great. Beautiful.
I've been sleeping on the
Yeah.
fish stores.
I want to see it in another year's time, just to see it go off.
Yeah.
Because that's glorious.
Harley was so sweet. I actually won. Schau mal, wer unser Judge war.
And first place goes to Monstera Adansonii.
Sehr gut.
Ah, süß, oder?
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Danke, danke.